Remember, there has been a plea and an application that was filed as far as worship at Qutub Minar was concerned, where we are getting in an ASI's response in the entire matter, stating that there is no denying that there were several scriptures inside this entire monument. The worship rites at Qutub plea is now being heard even as we speak. And Siddharth, this has been an ongoing issue which the opposition has also raked up, and we are seeing the first response coming in from the ASI.
And the ASI has filed a detailed affidavit in the court, basically denying the right to worship in a monument that is protected by the Archaeological Survey of India. Let's go across to Harish Nair for more updates on this. Harish, fill our viewers with the details of what the ASI's submissions are in response to the petition filed by members of the Hindu community.
Yes, the Archaeological Survey has filed a counter affidavit in the Qutub complex case. They say that Qutub is a protected monument as per Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Sites and Remains Act 1958. It is a prohibited area where no construction or reconstruction is allowed. Qutub Minar is not a place of worship since it got protection by the central government. Qutub Minar or any part of it was not worshipped by any community. This is a very, very serious significant statement made by the Archaeological Survey before the Saket court. Archaeological Survey also informed the court that an image of Lord Ganesha is found on a lower part of one wall in the complex. A grill has been provided there since 2001 to ensure no one steps on. Another image of Lord Ganesha was found upside down. However, the same is embedded in the wall and might not be feasible to reset the same. The ASI is informed. Archaeological Survey says Hindu petitioners' pleas are legally barred. The destruction of old temples to build Qutub complex is a matter of historical fact, and Qutub complex is protected since 1914. No one has right to worship in the protected area. So very, very significant statements coming in from the Archaeological Survey of India in the Qutub Minar case ongoing in the Saket court.
And stay with us, Harish, even as we are reading out some more excerpts of what exactly the ASI has to say. They say that the pleas by the Hindu petitioners is legally barred. The destruction of old temples to build Qutub complex is a matter of historical fact, and that Qutub complex is protected since 1914. And it's a structure that cannot be changed now. No one has the right to worship in a protected area, they say.
Yes, this is what they have said. Archaeological Survey very significantly says destruction of old temples to build Qutub complex is a matter of historical fact, and that is not denied. These are the very, very same claims of Harishankar Jain and Vishnu Jain, who are the petitioners in this case. The Jain has told the court that the prayer is limited, that puja can be offered. There are many cases where monument is under ASI, but prayer is allowed. So he says that there are many ASI monuments, maybe the structure of a mosque, but prayer is allowed. The judge has said that yes, there are many monuments under ASI where prayers are offered. Many temples are under protection as well, but the question is, you want a monument to be converted into a place where prayers can be offered through restoration, says judge. Ask how that is proposed. These are the details being provided by my colleague Nilashish Chaudhary from inside the courtroom. The genesis of the case from the very beginning is the admission that there were 27 temples and Qutubuddin Aibak demolished it as a show of Muslim strength. It is an admitted position that no prayers were offered there by Muslims and no religious activity took place there. Then what is the difficulty in allowing Hindus to pray to the deities there? This is the contention raised by Harishankar Jain. He says, don't want reconstruction, just the restoration of the area for Hindus to offer pujas there, not seeking any demolition. So these are the arguments being put forth by the Archaeological Survey and the petitioner Harishankar Jain before the Saket court, and the proceeding is ongoing.
Right, Harish, and a very important acknowledgement there made by the ASI that there were certain temples that were destroyed for the construction of the Qutub Minar. And not just that, they've also acknowledged the presence of Hindu and Jain symbols inside the premises, but they've also upheld the sanctity of ASI protected monuments, which they say will in fact come in the way of Article 25. Can you just elaborate on that as well?
Yes, the archaeological survey also informed the court that an image of Lord Ganesha is found on a lower part of one wall in the complex. A grill has been provided there since 2001 to ensure no one steps on it. And another image of Lord Ganesha, as you rightly said, is found upside down. However, the same is embedded in the wall and might not be feasible to reset the same. The ASI has informed. ASI said that Hindu petitioners' plea is legally barred. Destruction of old temples to build Qutub complex is a matter of historical fact. This is the most important statement said by the Archaeological Survey of India. They say, they admit that destruction of old temples to build Qutub complex is a matter of historical fact. And Qutub complex is, but the Qutub complex is protected since 1914. No one has the right to worship. It is at this juncture that...
Right, and stay with us, Harish, even as we are closely tracking these developments. Rahul Ishwar also joins us over the phone line. And Rahul Ishwar, that's a big statement coming in from the ASI and the court, who are now quoting the Ancient Monument Archaeological Sites and Remains Act, saying that any change or alteration in the existing structure could be a violation of this act, and that a place that comes under the UNESCO heritage site or an archaeological site cannot be used as a site of worship.
There are 2 points, ma'am. One, I believe nobody is saying that anything should be destroyed. At the same point of time, there were some historical wrongs we need to look into. And people are saying that we should not take revenge into history, like Sadhguru said. But a reconciliation with history can be done. Some kind of middle ground or some kind of consensus can be built. It is a matter of fact of our history that hundreds and hundreds of temples were destroyed. Is it not recorded, not even in Western versions of history? So it's a matter of fact, and people are aggrieved. There are some historical wrongs that we have to at least address. There should be a truth and reconciliation regarding any of the monuments. Yes, these are all prides of our temple, prides of our land. But if there are some sensitivities being ruffled, it is very good to address it and not to, put it under the carpet saying that this is all communal and bad. So at least some sensitivity to our history should be shown, because we have faced 1,000 years of invasion, and the wounds of that invasion has still being in the collective consciousness of the land. So let us address it in a moderate and sensible way. Let moderate from both community address it. That would be the right way forward.
And Mr. Ishwar, since you mentioned Sadhguru there, his point of view also was that this right of Hindus to reclaim parts or temples that have in fact been destroyed should be confined to 2 or 3 very significant places and not a blanket claim. What's your response to that?
There are 2 things. Sadhguru, who have worked for Dharma in a very big way. See, he has put forward a very important point that we should discuss. Some people of our community will agree, some may not. See, the fact of history is that there were hundreds of temples which are destroyed, of which 3 are most important. I don't think there is any disagreement on that. Kashi, Mathura and Ayodhya being the birthplaces. See, these birthplaces cannot be changed. See, these deities or these holy figures or holy icons from those places cannot be changed. So this is a fact of history.
And thank you, Rahul Ishwar, for joining us on this broadcast. Let me also now go across to Harish once again, who's joined by Vishnu Jain. Yes, Harish, over to you. All right, we'll try to go back to Harish shortly, but reading out some more, in fact, observations being made by the court where the hearing is still underway. The court says, on a lighter note, deity survived for over 800 years without worship. Let him survive like that. On the other hand, the court also goes on to say that the question is whether right to worship is an established right, whether it's a constitutional or any other right, and what all remedies, if any, are available with this right. That's a big statement coming in from the court, even as the pleas by the ASI in its reply has stated that the pleas by the Hindu petitioners is legally barred. The destruction of old temples to build Qutub complex is a matter of historical fact, but the Qutub complex is a protected site since 1914 and its structure cannot be changed now. No one has a right to worship, they say, in a protected area. A temple can't be revived at a protected monument such as Qutub Minar. And that's a big statement, Siddharth, coming in.
Right, and the ASI clearly clarifying in its affidavit that there is clearly evidence of Hindu as well as Jain symbols at the Qutub Minar, and that temples were in fact destroyed to make way for the construction of the Qutub complex. But it also says at the same time that Article 25, which is the right to freely practice and propagate your religion, is also subject to certain restrictions, and in this particular context it cannot breach the sanctity of monuments that are in fact protected and come under the aegis of the Archaeological Survey of India. So the ASI clearly drawing a line, denying the Hindu petitioners what they claim is their right to worship at the Qutub Minar.
Absolutely, even as we have been tracking more developments coming in from the court.
Has given a verdict that the issue of maintainability of the petition has to be decided on priority. Apart from that, there are...
On what really happens in the court, stay tuned.